So far in this travel series, we've discussed the topics of packing your luggages and why I believe researching about the destination can drastically affect your experience in a positive way. In this week's video, we're going to be diving into the topic of accommodations and transportation for your upcoming trip. Whether you're planning a solo adventure or traveling with friends, it's important to make informed decisions about where you'll be staying and how you'll be getting there. So let's get right into it. When it comes to choosing a place to stay, you have several options: Airbnb, hotels, and hostels, to name some of the major ones. Each has its own advantages and considerations, so let's look more into them. Airbnb has gained immense popularity in recent years, and for good reason. It offers a wide range of affordable and unique accommodations, from cozy apartments to small rooms suitable for a solo traveler. For me, I enjoy having access to amenities like a kitchen and laundry facilities, which can be quite convenient, especially for longer trips, which is what I'm interested in. It allows me to save money by cooking in, as well as giving me the luxury to do laundry late at night in the luxury of my own space. One of the biggest advantages of Airbnb is the opportunity to experience local living. You can often find accommodations in residential areas, which allows you to really immerse yourself in the local culture and get a taste of what it's like to live in the destination, which I personally enjoy. However, this can be a negative as well, especially if your Airbnb is far away from the city. It can be very inconvenient if you have to train 30+ minutes into the city, especially if that particular location of the city or country was the reason for your trip. So if that's the case, the other options may be better. But you can get the best of both worlds if your Airbnb is in a residential area right next to a big train station in the city, allowing you to have easy access to all the major areas you want to see and visit. I avoid being right smack in the middle of tourist areas for a variety of reasons, such as high prices, tourist traps, etc. But I can still choose to go to them if I want to walk around and take photos around the area. This is why I booked the Airbnb right next to the Seoul station when I visited Seoul. It wasn't crazily crowded or anything like that, but I was still able to get almost anywhere in the city with the station being really close to my Airbnb. Just be sure to look up Airbnbs and see whether the location fits with your plans. Also, a key note, keep in mind the quality and reliability of the host can vary, so be sure to read reviews and choose a reputable host with positive feedback. It's better to pay a bit extra for a reliable host than have a bad experience with a bad host and regret it. With Airbnbs, the pricing varies quite a bit due to the wide variety of options, which is a good thing in my opinion. However, the fees can be outrageous and raise the price for some Airbnbs, which drives most travelers away. But personally for me, I have found some great deals on Airbnb and I prefer to use it more than the other options, especially when it comes to booking an accommodation for multiple weeks to months, which is what I prefer to do as I like to slow travel and take my time. This is because a lot of hosts will actually offer discounts to those who stay longer for 4 weeks or so it's a win-win for travelers who want to stay in one location for a while. Hotels are another popular choice, offering comfort, convenience, and a range of other services. They provide a level of reliability and consistency that can be reassuring for many travelers. Hotels can be found everywhere, including right smack in the middle of the city, so you don't have to worry about traveling into the city. You'll already be there, which is very convenient. Hotels also often have amenities like restaurants, gyms, concierge services, making your stay more convenient and enjoyable. However, hotels can also be more expensive compared to the other options, especially if you're looking at the more high-end accommodations. It's important to consider your budget and desired level of comfort when choosing a hotel. For me, if I'm staying in a location for a couple of days to about 1 week, I actually prefer to stay in a hotel. As I said before, Airbnbs come with outrageous fees, and for a couple of days or a week, it's just not worth it in my opinion, especially without the discount. If you're a budget-conscious traveler or you enjoy a social atmosphere, hostels can be a fantastic choice for you. Hostels offer dormitory-style rooms where you share the space with other travelers. This not only helps you save money, but also provides an opportunity to meet fellow travelers from around the world. Hostels often have communal areas where you can socialize, exchange travel tips, and make new friends. Keep in mind though that while hostels are generally safe, it's always a good idea to be careful and make sure your belongings are safe. Additionally, if privacy is the most important thing to you, hostels may not be the best option. I've never booked or used a hostel before, as I carry all my camera gear around, and I'd rather not take that to a hostel. I also prefer having my own private space, or at least a room to myself, so hostels for me are out of the question. I decided to include it in this video though, because it is an option still, and it is the cheapest out of the three. But keep in mind, I'm not the most informed person to talk about this topic. I just thought I'd bring it up for others that may be interested. Now let's talk about transportation, particularly flights, as that's how I get to most, if not all my destinations when I travel. When booking your flight, there are a few things to consider. First, try to be flexible with your travel dates to find the best deals. I usually use Expedia, which helps me compare prices across different airlines. Then I'll either book through Expedia themselves or go directly to the airline's website and book through them. If it's a major airline like Delta, United, Air Canada, and so on, I don't mind booking through Expedia. However, if it's a smaller airline like Han Air, then I usually book directly, which is something I've now recently been doing after an incident that happened last year. When I was going from Busan in Korea to Tokyo in Japan, I had my flight booked well in advance through Expedia. Little did I know, Expedia canceled the flight immediately after booking it without notifying me at all. So it was quite a surprise to me when I couldn't get on the flight. Also, I mentioned this in the last video, but if you're a solo traveler, I highly recommend choosing a flight that arrives during the day, especially if you're unfamiliar with the destination. This way you'll have daylight to navigate and familiarize yourself with the area, which can make your arrival less overwhelming and stressful and more enjoyable. Another option of transportation is taking the train. This method may take longer in some cases or may be more convenient in other cases, like the Shinkansen in Japan. Sometimes the hassle of going to the airport is too much and you'd rather just go to the train station and travel from there. That's perfectly fine and okay. Whatever fits your needs is the best method of transportation. I've chosen to take trains over flights many times during my travels because it was just much easier for me. This was especially true after my flight from Busan to Tokyo was cancelled. To salvage that situation, I actually just bought a flight from Busan to Fukuoka and took a Shinkansen from there to Osaka and spent a couple of nights there. In the initial plan, I had already wanted to go to Kyoto and Osaka anyways for some photos. Yeah, there were a change of plans here and there, but that's the positive of staying open to random problems and being flexible with your plans. Basically, to summarize, it's essential to prioritize your comfort when making accommodation and transportation choices. I'm all for trying to find the best deals, but paying $200 less for an accommodation won't be worth it if you're miserable or feel uncomfortable at that particular place. Whether you opt for an Airbnb, hotel, or hostel, always prioritize your personal needs and make informed decisions based off of that. The same goes for your transportation needs as well when it comes to flying. For example, what kind of airline you take, what type of seat you choose during the flight, or if possible, traveling via train. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful for your upcoming travels. If you have any questions or additional advice, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next week. Later.